broadcast and see if you can see it in. Let me know if you can
Hmm.
see it
Okay.
on our YouTube page. Thank you.
Let me check. Mm,
Yes.
yes, I can. I can. Yeah. Okay, it's live.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining our webinar. Basically, I'm just going to kind of take you through a few updates that we have here at Easify. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining our webinar. Basically, mute myself so I don't get that feedback. So yeah, I just want to kind of take you through a few updates that we have here at Easify. If you're not familiar with what Easify is or what we do here, we're essentially an all-in-one marketing platform where we get you approved for 10 DLC, which is what you need in the US to send out mass texting blasts as a business. But we also do ringless voicemail. We have a built-in dialer so you can do calls. Um, and we also have an email marketing platform where you can, send email blasts, send out warm-up campaigns for your emails so that they're not getting, your domain isn't getting hit for the reputation isn't getting hit. But yeah, so we have an all-in-one marketing platform, but we also have a CRM that's built for the MCA industry, for MCA brokers, that goes through the entire lead life cycle from new lead to funded. And of course, right, we are in a period of kind of the AI race right now. So we do have a lot of AI built into the system, including an AI agent that can reply to your text messages, your incoming text messages, but can also do calls. So it can do outbound calling and also respond to inbound calls. So we'll kind of go through that. The first thing I want to go through is just to kind of show you how easy it is to upload your data and start sending out your campaigns. So um, the process is pretty, again, very, very, very simple. So you just go down into contacts. Let's create a new group here. So for our contact list, we do, you do upload CSV files. So um, let me just, we'll call this webinar. Make it easy. Let's import a contact list here. And then here are all the headers that you can add to your list. So we have company name. We'll just put address here. It's fine. Email, company. We do have 3 additional fields that essentially you can use in your templates in order to have personalized messages per contact, right? So if you wanted to mention maybe the city or state that a contact is in, then you can use these additional fields to have that in your message. Let's go. Actually, let's go back. Start to import. Sweet. So, and if there is any issue with your contact import, you do get a full list, right, of all your imports, and you can even download the a CSV of the failed imports, so you can see the specific reason why a contact was skipped. Maybe they didn't have a first name or phone number, so you have all that data. Okay. We do offer a DNC scrub. I'm going to click into it just to kind of show you, but I'll show you that you can do it right from the contacts page. So with this DNC scrub, this is just to help keep you as safe as possible when you're doing your SMS campaigns, right? So this DNC scrub essentially removes all contacts on your list that are either on federal or state DNC lists, as well as known TCPA complainers. Okay, so it's just an easy way to send out your campaign stress free. So you're not hitting anyone that might complain about a TCPA violation, right? Or it's just safer to scrub those contacts out, especially for specific industries that might be considered high risk for 10DLC purposes. So we're talking insurance or MCA, business financing. Um, for for those sorts of industries, I would highly recommend DNC scrubbing. But in general, right, it's always better to clean your list. But before, you would have to go into DNC scrubbing, select your list, right, and then do the scrub. But now we have updated it so you can just go in and it's actually what are we doing here? Start the campaign. There we go. Yeah. So you can just start the campaign, and then within the campaign setup, you can scrub your list as well. So it's no longer right. Upload the contacts, then scrub the list, then do the campaign. You can just upload the contacts, start the campaign, and then within this campaign setup, you can scrub out those DNC and TCPA complainers. So we'll just call this webinar. And then, of course, right, you can choose the specific numbers that you want for your SMS campaigns. Now, the system does do area code matching, which means, let's say, right, you purchased a number of phone numbers with us with different area codes, because maybe you market to Florida or and then to Texas. So you can select the relevant phone numbers for the campaign that you're sending, and the system will automatically match. Let's say you have a 407 number, right? So you're contacting people in Orlando. If you own a 407 number in your list of numbers, right, any contacts in that list that also have a 407 number will automatically receive that message from that matching phone number, right? And that's really good to increase response rate, because of course, right, if you're contacting them from a local area code, just makes you seem local, seem real, which will for sure increase your response rate. And then if you do also have users built into the system, so if you have teams that are going to be responding to your clients, then you can also include their phone numbers here, right? And the system will essentially just do kind of a round robin, right? And split up the list across all your users and their phone numbers, and then they'll just go into their personal account here. Of course, as the admin user, you can click into their accounts, see what they're doing, and you can even create, hierarchy structures where you have a manager that can log into the employees in their team, see what they're doing, or send campaigns on behalf of their users. So as the admin user, right, you can kind of delegate a manager to kind of handle all the campaign sending tasks, and have them manage and oversee what the rest of the team is doing. But you can of course also access all of that. So here you select your phone number. We will select the recipients. Of course, we have that webinar group already selected. By the way, right, of course, we do have even more ways you can kind of filter and send very specific campaigns to your contacts, even because okay, you upload your contacts in bulk, right? Let's say you have a Florida. Let's just continue using the Florida example. Let's say you have a contact list Florida, but let's say you only want to from that Florida list, right? You create a tag that maybe is Miami-Dade, right? And you only want this campaign to go to the Miami-Dade contacts within your Florida group, right? So you can create filters. We have some examples: interested, proposal, approval, right? Let's just say one of these was Miami-Dade, right? You can have it so that it will only go in this example to that Miami-Dade tag, right? So that even if you have that Florida list, you can again send very specific campaigns to your contacts, right? And then on the other hand, the same thing. Maybe you don't want it to go to those Miami-Dade contacts. You can exclude them using these labels as well. Oh yeah, that was an issue. We'll create a different list here. I had ChatGPT create a CSV. It did include phone numbers, and and that just might be a limitation on ChatGPT's end. Of course, we can't send if they don't have phone numbers, so we'll just use this demo list here. So compose SMS. So that list was already DNT scrubbed, but if it wasn't, right, you would be able to just scrub the list right then and there. And then the last step before you can send out the campaign is selecting the template. So we'll just select the template here. Right, and you can see all the, how many characters are in your text before sending it out. For all text messages, right, one segment is considered one text. So you can just kind of manage and oversee how long your texts are here. Um, Yeah, just preview the message. You can also select multiple templates on a single campaign, which I would highly recommend you do because if you're sending the same message over and over and over again, then carriers may start filtering out your messages before it reaches your clients because it seems like you're essentially spamming, right? So to kind of alleviate that issue, you do want to, constantly update your templates, create new templates, right? But then also on a campaign, use multiple templates just so again, you're not just bombarding a list with one template, right? And potentially get filtered out. So then on the final page, you'll get an estimate on how many credits, because that's the currency that we use in Easify's credits for every text, of how many credits you'll be using. And then here you can either schedule the campaign for later, or if you're ready to go, you can start the campaign. Once you click this start that campaign option, so those messages will start delivering to your contacts very quickly. I would say within 1 to 3 minutes, the campaign, of course, depending on how many contacts are in the list. But even if you have, thousands or tens of thousands of contacts on a campaign, that entire blast should go out again, no longer than 5 minutes from once you start this button. So if you're not ready to go, you can always schedule for later. And then once you start the campaign, over in chat SMS is where you'll actually, see all your contacts, all your threads. It's kind of like your messaging app, right, on your smartphone. So you just see a chronological order of all your messages, the newest messages on the top, of course. You can click here, you can call them. Um, if they if they've opted out, right, will even tell you here this contact is present in the federal DNC, right? So you'll get those warnings. If if your contact opts out, the system will prevent you from contacting them again. So we always try to focus on compliance and helping you stay safe. So yeah, so that's right there. That's as easy as it is to send out your campaigns through Easify, to upload your contacts, scrub them, and actually send out the campaign. One thing I want to mention about the campaigns, going back to that, is once you send out a campaign, you can actually do a retargeting campaign as well. And essentially, what that will do is, sometimes people won't respond to your messages the first time, right? Maybe it takes a second or third time to actually reach them, for them to respond back to you. So what a retargeting campaign will do is you can send another SMS campaign to the same contact list, but it will only send a text to anyone who has not responded. Right, so if you're working a deal with a merchant, you're going back and forth with them, but a lot of people in the contact group that they were in, right, they haven't responded to that initial text that you sent. Maybe you want to hit them again, but you don't want to annoy the merchant you're already talking to. Well, the retargeting campaign is a great way to do that and to really exhaust, right, all the potential of your contact list. Alrighty. So from there, I do want to take a look. But by the way, right, like I mentioned, and SMS is huge, right? But I don't want to ignore the other features that we have, including emails. So we do have an email sender. It's very similar to the how you would send out an SMS campaign, right? So we won't do the same thing. It might be a little repetitive there, but just know we do also offer a warm-up campaign. So again, right, instead of just sending out your, let's say you want to send out an email to 1,000, 2,000 contacts, right? You don't necessarily want to do that all in one time, depending on the amount of or your email reputation, I should say, right? Because if you do that, then Google might start filtering out your messages, sending it to spam. So the warm up campaign will slowly roll out that campaign within 1 to 2 weeks, so that you're not getting flagged as spam in your clients' inboxes. Just going down the list, we do have AI replies. So this AI bot is essentially how you would set up replies to your incoming text messages. So for the MCA space, right, you can do something like, let's just view the configuration for. So this is of course about Easify, right? Kind of what we do so the AI can respond back to our clients and just help them out if they have any questions regarding 10DLC or how to set up their SMS campaigns, etc. Um, for the MCA industry, right? And what I've done for some of our clients is you can set it up to, once someone responds, okay, let's start qualifying this contact so that we can push them to go to the application link, right? So we're, okay, great, you're interested in funding. Um, how many months or how long has your business been in operation? Okay, it's been under 6 months. The AI would just say, hey, sorry, right? We need you to be in business for at least 6 months for the options that we provide, right? If they were over 6 months, then like the AI knows to ask for their average monthly revenue for the past 3 months, right? So once the AI can essentially do all the qualification for you and then send them the link to the application once the client is qualified. Um, and then from there, right through, if you have like let's say we have an inside CRM, but of course we have APIs, right? We have publicly facing API documentation. So if you wanted to, get a notification once someone received the link to an application, so to reach out to them because they are qualified, you can do, through Zapier or Make, you can create your integrations and your automations and your workflows, right, to get those notifications in a similar situation, right? If someone received that application link. So, yeah, we do have, well, of course, we do have a solution baked into the system for an MCA CRM. So you don't need an outside CRM anymore, right? To kind of go through the workflow of funding your deals. It's all built in here. But of course, right, we're very flexible. So we give you the options if you have an outside solution. We do have a dialer built in as well. So, you can make your calls here, right? Your calls are recorded by default, so you can listen and download those call recordings. We also do have an automated call system, which is essentially a dialing system, right? And what's really cool about this dialing system is you can do concurrent calling, right? And if you have the AI assistant created and ready to go, you can actually have the AI assistant do up to 3 additional calls. So you can do 4 calls at a time essentially with the AI assistant. So while you're on one call, right? The AI assistant would be calling 3 of the other contacts, and you can even see a live transcription of the calls, right, while the AI is talking to them, and you can click to jump into those calls at any time. Now I'm not gonna do we're on the webinar here. I'll just show you what it looks like. Um, let's do. I'm not sure we have a phone number here. Let's continue just to show you guys what but the automated call system again. It's just to kind of finish my thought here. Yeah, you can do up to 4 calls at a time. Again, all calls are recorded, and you can see a live transcription if the AI is making those calls. Um, was my last point there. And then that live transcription, you can always at the end, like that's always accessible. So if you need to come back to that, you can always see that. And you can even there's even an AI analysis of the call. So if you don't want to read through the whole transcription, you do get like an AI summary of what happened on that call. And then here is where you can create your AI call assistant. So it's very cool, right? So the default that we have here is built out for MCA funding. So if you don't have kind of no idea how to set up an AI agent, the default script, if you're once you create an account for MCA, it's gonna have like when you upload your 10DLC information, we ask what industry you're in, right? So if you're in the MCA industry, the default is going to show you this flow. And then just to kind of give you an idea of what you can do here, right? If someone's interested in funding, you can, just like I mentioned for the AI replies for text messages, you can also have the AI, right, qualify your clients through a phone call. And then what's really really cool with this is you can even let's just say that they're qualified, right? So you've already the client is qualified for funding. Let's say, right, we've, because of course you have to build out this workflow, absolutely we can help you build out the workflow. Because yeah, I mean, we there's a lot of touch points, right? Um, Qualifying them, like, adding the notes to qualify them, how long they've been in business, et cetera, et cetera. But let's say we've already done that, right? What you can do is actually send contact data directly to the CRM, the MCA CRM from this AI caller. So do something like, okay, great. Can I please have the name of your business? And then they'll get the name of the business, right? Of course. And then we'll push this to the CRM. So you can do a name of your business, their name, right, their phone number, their email, and that's going to push that directly to the CRM. Okay, so just you can really get creative with these workflows, and have a lot of your daily workload just offloaded to AI. I mean, because that of course like everyone's offloading as much work as possible to AI. So why not MCA brokers? So yeah, so you can get a lot of do, especially if you're doing, you're leveraging not only um the automated text message replies, right? You're leveraging the automations. You're leveraging the AI call assistant, right? You're having your agents call, do the like get on the dialer, but then also have the AI call assistant assist them so that they can get through even more merchants per day. And you were just talking about a 10xing your revenue just by using as the software solutions that are available out there, right? So, discussing, mentioning the AI, or sorry, the CRM. Let's definitely dive into the CRM just to kind of show you how powerful the CRM is for MCA brokers. And on this default page here, really, because a lot of the functionality of the CRM comes from the workflow that you're seeing here, right? So these lead statuses really power a lot of the functionality of the CRM. Okay, so all leads that you upload right through an Excel sheet, right, or if you're APIing these leads in, right, they're gonna go to new lead, right? What happens when you right or the guys that in your shop, right? Let's just go to a new lead here, right? You can send the application link, excuse me, via email or SMS or both, right? And let's just see what happens. Let's say we're gonna do it through SMS, right? As soon as they were sent the application, right, the link to the application, the system automatically moves that lead to app out. So let's see that, right? You see that it was in new lead. Now the Hulk Smash Enterprises is in app out, and the the strength of that can't be understated, because not only is the system automatically managing right your leads in the workflow, so you don't have to remember, oh yeah, I did send the application to this guy, let me actually click to switch the lead status to app out. That's done automatically. But not only that, right, once we look at the workflows, you'll see that all your marketing, all your your follow-ups uh, can be triggered by by these lead statuses. And what I mean by that is you send out the app, you send the application link to your merchant. And it's stuck in app out. The next day they haven't submitted the application. 2 days from now they haven't submitted the application. Typically, right, or before the Easify CRM, you would have to manually hit Jim up again, hit the owner of Hulk Smash Enterprises. Hey, I sent you application. Did you get it? Can you submit the application? You'd have to do that. You have to call him. You have to text him. You have to email him, right? But what if I told you that once you set up the workflow, the first time to hit Jim, owner of Hulk Smash Enterprises, on the first day, the second day, the third day, with an email, with a text message, at that cadence, or whatever cadence you'd like, you set it and forget it. And then once you send them the application, and then it goes from new lead to app out, well, if Jim hasn't responded, right, by day 2, by day 3, you're not doing that anymore, right? The system is sending out those emails and sending out those text messages. And that's huge, right? If we're just thinking about the transition from new lead to app out, right? We got to get this guy to send in the application. But then when you look at the rest of the lead workflow, then you're really starting to understand the strength of this solution, right? Because okay, on the third day maybe Jim has submitted that application, okay, but now and then the system will automatically, by the way, take this lead from app out into app in. All right, so you got the application in, great, signed application. The thing is, we're still missing bank statements, right? So if Jim has not submitted his 3 months or 4 months bank statements and it's sitting in app in, well, guess what? You have the automation already set up to send them a reminder text the same, maybe 3 hours after it goes to app in, right? Then the next day, then you guys get the picture I'm painting here, right? So again, you don't before you'd have to really handhold some merchants, right, to every little step of the deal, by that you just have to constantly call them, constantly text them to get the application in, to get the docs in, to sign the app, to sign the contract, right? By building out the workflows for these lead statuses, not only is the system one, organizing and moving leads automatically, which is what in that's huge in itself, right? Because you don't have to remember to go into your CRM and change those lead statuses. But then also when you couple that with the marketing potential for getting the lead through the entire funding cycle, based on these triggers, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? It's a very, very powerful system. I'll show you here. By the way, you can move these around. Like, you don't, if your your process is a little different, if you don't like the names of these lead statuses, this CRM is pretty customizable, so you can make the changes that work for you. Um, this is just kind of um, a general. But one last point that I do want to make on how powerful it is, because of course the most important merchants are the ones that get all the way here to funded, right? So if you think you know, 2 month, 1 month from after you fund the guy, right? Maybe he's not ready for renewal yet. 2 months, maybe he's not ready for renewal yet. But if you set up the workflow to hit him with a text and email, right, to keep your shop in mind when it's 6 months and maybe he needs some more money for a new project, right? The system again is automatically doing that outreach for you. All right. So let's go into the workflow just to kind of show you what that looks like. So it's here, the status-based notifications, right? So, right, condition stat, equals app out after, and this is basically how long a lead has been in that lead status for. And so that's what triggers, right, the next whatever the next notification, the next email, the next SMS. So let's we're gonna get rid of this. And by the way, you can not only can you use this to send out emails and text messages to your merchants, but let's say you have a closer, right? And after you know let's say you have a closer, right? So after it goes to app in, right, and he's still not sending applicant the docs in, and you want to set up a specific agent for that lead to get assigned to. If it's been, let's say, 2 days, if it's been 2 days stuck in app in, well, you can do that, right? If you do, no, let's just create a new node here. Here we go. A new node, so condition status equals app in. Yeah, we'll add it to the current branch. Here we go. So if it's been an app in for let's do 2 days. You're gonna give your opener, maybe a few shots to get the docs in, but after 2 days, you want to assign it to a new agent. Well, you can do that, right? Innie's our agent. She's a killer, right? So we want, if it's been stuck in app in for 2 days, we want Innie to get all over that, right? So, but then this gives you a good idea of kind of how overreaching or overarching this workflow can be for your business, for your marketing, for your follow-ups, right? So I want to change this one. All I really just want to do is kind of show you 4 days. We're gonna do send. Actually, let's do it. Send SMS. Phone number. Yep. Okay. Great. Yes. So 4 days. Okay, and then we'll do another maybe 5 days after that. Right. You guys get it, right? But I just want to show you it's very simple to set up these workflows and set up the timing. It's because once you do it, like the first time doing it, yes, there is a lot of, especially if you're, especially for the earlier lead statuses, app out, right, app in, right. You want to hit these guys a lot, right? Within the first 2 weeks, it's super important that we get past the doxed in stage, so you can add a ton of nodes, right? A ton of different send SMS and send emails. But once you do it for the first time, right, then you can just you set it and forget it, sort of a thing, right? And you can actually save this configuration and share these workflows with your agents. So once the main user has gone through the pain of setting up all the nice templates and all the cadences that you want for these things to go out, right? You can share this to your to the other brokers in your shop, right? And then they can, it will essentially, right, because each template you can customize it so it has each relevant agent's name, their phone number, right, and they'll, essentially, so once you do it for the first agent, right, you can just share it, send it to everyone else, and it will all be personalized to that agent's information, to that broker's info. So yeah, this is extremely powerful. The next thing I really want to show you guys is the AI bank scrubbing. So this is something we've been working on for a good amount of time now, and it's starting to it's a good solution. I know there's a lot of different solutions out there for OCRing, but your bank statement, scrubbing your bank statements. But yeah, we also have this built in. By the way, just to kind of touch, just because you may be interested, kind of what do we integrate with, right? So we do integrate with data merge, with MoneyThumb. If you use MoneyThumb for bank scrubbing, bank statement scrubbing. We also integrate with Pacer, Plaid, and CSR. So yeah, these are integrations. But let's go back to the AI bank scrubbing. So we'll upload some documents here. Actually, I have. We'll do it again just to show you how quick and easy it is. So here we have my 4 fake pay statements that ChatGPT also created. Let's call this webinar. Scrubbing. There it goes. Voila, like it's how I almost couldn't click the button, it was so quick. Right, so here it'll show you the gross deposits, the total debits, and the net revenue for that time period. And then you go to AI Insights. Let's look at these AI Insights. So it'll show you all the total transactions, right? The total deposits, the adjustments, total revenue, right? Average daily balance. So yeah, this is an underwriting solution baked into the system, right? Baked into the system that you're doing your SMS campaigns on, baked into the system that you're doing your email campaigns, that you have your ringless voicemail going out from, right? So at Easify, we're really proud and excited about the CRM and just the entire package that we offer here. I think we're providing a phenomenal value. Um, and it's a no-brainer, especially when you're looking at, if you are in MCA. We get you proof for 10 DLC, which is such a headache nowadays, and then you can use us to store, to market to your clients, right, to stay in touch with your brokers, or sorry, to your merchants. And then also we're offering this underwriting solution. I mean, it's really, really, really a powerful tool. um, just look for yourselves, right? It's giving you some underwriting metrics, right? I'm not in underwriting, so you have to, I work with a lot of brokers, but you have to, you gotta kind of see what's in here. I'm not an underwriter myself, but it's giving you the withhold percentage, or the recommendations, or sorry, the existing MCA obligations, which I don't believe there's any in there, right? So yeah, I mean, very, very, very powerful, very it's very exciting. It's very exciting. So yeah, and this is baked in. I believe, we are cheaper for doing bank scrubbing than some of our competitors. I want to, mention any specific names, but you're getting a better value, right? Not only in the CRM, but in the specific, offerings, right? So even the our bank scrubbing is also a better value than some of our competitors here. So we're giving you a lot, and I think we're doing it for a very reasonable asking price. Um, what else did I want to mention here? Let's go back. Let's go back. I don't have, he got about 13 minutes left. Oh, one thing I did want to show for sure is what the application looks like the for the CRM. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So let's go into that whole expense. There's so much. It's like, man, we have an hour for the webinar. There's so much to show. It's almost overwhelming because it's like, oh, I don't want to miss any little thing that we have to offer here. But yeah, this is what the application looks like. A very, easy on the eyes application. By the way, you can again alter, right, or add things to the application if you're not seeing that there's a specific thing that you asked on your application. If it's not here, we can of course customize this to your liking. One a very cool feature is the option for the client, for the merchant to live chat with you, right? Maybe they're not, sometimes merchants might not be maybe too tech savvy, right? Maybe whatever, maybe if they need help for whatever reason, um and I don't know, maybe they don't want to reach out to you, right? They want someone that to help them right in the application. Well, we do have that option here, right? So I'll just show you. Let me go over to, oh yeah, we are already in here. So, what's I don't know, what's a tax ID? Right, this guy needs help, right? This guy needs some help. So, what's a tax ID? We go back here in real time. You'll see that communication. So you you know um you can help your clients fill out the application in real time in the lead, in the CRM, so that you don't have to go outside of Easify for anything. It's all baked in. You can do your credit pulls right here. You can generate the file control sheet. You can run Pacer or data merge. Um, Full communication logs to see when you've reached out to this merchant. Yeah, I mean, it's you can assign the closers to the different leads. What else do we really want? You can set up all your different lenders. Um, it will be all the submissions are done through email. Yeah, we'll do this. Let's go back to the main menu. But yeah, I mean, what I'll do also is in the live chat, I'm gonna put in my booking link so you guys can book a demo with me. So if you want to kind of get into the nitty gritty of what you can do in the CRM or in Easify in general, please do not hesitate to reach out and book a call with me, because again, we only have about 9 more minutes left, and I do want to touch on some of the other things that we have in Easify in general, not just specifically in the CRM. But yeah, again, if you just want more intimate look at the CRM, please book a call with me. So we mentioned we looked at the CRM, we looked at how to send an SMS campaign. We touched briefly on what we offer for emails. We looked at the AI replies, and also the calls. I do also want to touch on voice outreach, because I think this is a underappreciated form of marketing. And when we mention voice outreach, really we're talking about voice broadcasts and ringless voicemail. If you're not familiar, essentially what a ringless voicemail is a recording, right? So you would upload an MP3 or MP4 file, and that's sent out to your clients, right? But it's going to go directly to their voicemail box, right? So they're going to receive a brief call, right? But the call literally it ends itself, by the way. It's on their screen for like half a second, it just flashes, then ends itself. And as long as they have a voicemail box set up, they're going to receive, excuse me, your message as a voicemail, right? And it's super inobtrusive, right? Because some people sometimes don't like to receive a call, right? They don't want to talk to you live. But if you leave the information as a voicemail, then that's not now, right? They're willing to listen or even look at the live transcription, right? Because nowadays, iPhones, Androids, they'll give you a live transcription of the voicemail, so they don't even have to hear your voice at all or your recording. They can just quickly read what you're offering, what information you're trying to provide, and you know um take action on whatever that message you're sending is regarding, right? If they call that number back that you left the ringless voicemail number from, we can actually route that back either to one of your Easify, to your Easify numbers, right? Because, and by the way, man, there's so much to mention, but Easify does have an iOS app, an Android app, right? So if you want to work on the go, you want to take calls on the go, right? You can absolutely download the app. So if they call back, right, it can ring back to your to your let's say your iPhone through the Easify app. And what's really cool is that as calls come in, you'll see it coming in as a normal call, but you can see the Easify badge, so maybe this is not a personal call, this is business, right? But then also additionally, that whatever Easify number you choose, you can even route that number back. Let's say to your office line, right? Maybe you have like a round robin office line. So you can forward your Easify numbers to your personal line or your office line, so that if anyone calls back from the ringless voicemail, then that will go back to the relevant number, right? And then, but the we also offer voice broadcasts, which it's very very similar to a ringless voicemail. The biggest difference really is that instead of it going to the voicemail box, the message that you recorded, they actually have to answer the call to listen to your recording. So it's still a recording, right? But they have to answer the call to listen to the recording. What's cool about the voice broadcast is you can set up an IVR, right? So that they have options, press 1 to talk to Jim, right? Press 2 to talk to support, etc. Right? So you can set up an IVR with the voice broadcast. And a new feature that we recently updated on the site is the option to do text to voice for voice broadcasts. So maybe you're a little shy, you don't want your voice in a recording. You can actually type out the message, and then we have a voice um, that will send out that text to voice, that message, right, for you. So you don't even have to make the recording anymore, right? The system will just create the recording and then send that out as a voice broadcast. So let's see, we have about 5 minutes left. Quickly, I'll quickly jump into what bookings is, right? What our Easify bookings page. Let's just click into it. Why not? So this is essentially a calendar application that's also just built into Easify again, right? Where we just love providing value here in our product. So you don't need some of our other solutions out there for calendars, and you can even integrate. Let's refresh this. It's kind of taking a bit to load. Let's try that one more time. Let's see. Bookings. There we go. There we go. So it's a calendar app, right? And what you can do is you can actually integrate your Google Calendar, your Microsoft Teams calendar, so that there's no double bookings from what you already have in those calendars. And these any events, any bookings that your clients make with you through our system automatically will create a Google Meet room for you guys to jump in on. But if you prefer Zoom, you can even connect your Zoom account, and then it'll create a Zoom room for you guys. And what you can do with bookings is create an event, or sorry, meeting types, right? Where you can create a meeting type and then have your clients, and you can send the link to your client so that they can book with you based on your availability, right? And which checks again your Google Calendar or your Microsoft Teams calendar. Not only that, right? You can have the AI call assistant can actually check your bookings, right? You'll use this booking link. I'll just go in here and right, just kind of show you what this looks like, right? Really super clean calendar layout. But the AI call assistant, you can provide this link to it, and it can book calls for you based on your availability. Or I should say, your clients can book calls with you through the AI call assistant, right? So it will offer, or it can offer, if you'd like it to, your, your availability. Hey, are you, I have a, there's a availability at 7:15 a.m. on Tuesday for a call. Would you like me to book the appointment? Right? The AI call assistant can do it based on your Easify bookings meeting type. Um, and there's even, we won't harp on this too much, but you can create, just know you can create teams and have a teams meeting, which will essentially be something similar, like where you have your meeting type, but for your teams meeting type, right, it will round robin based on everyone's availability. So if you have different agents that are different, brokers or whatever the case may be, we want them all getting booked through Easify bookings. You can create that teams meeting. Okay. And then the last thing I quickly wanted to show you guys is our automations feature. So we did take a look at this a bit for this in the CRM with the workflows where, it was triggered based on different um, lead status changes, right? Or time in lead status. We also have this automation feature, which is very similar, but this is for your bulk SMS or bulk email or bulk your bulk marketing. Um, so it's outside of the CRM, right? So this is if you're just kind of doing before someone's an actual lead, before they're a real prospect, right? You're just doing you're just doing that initial contact, right? Well, through automations, you can make your life much, much easier, even for just those initial conversations, right? So let's go into this automation just to kind of show you how it works, right? So you would choose the contact group that you're sending the automation to. Then you can say, okay, I'm going to send the first text, right? As soon as you can either have it so that the automation will start once you add the CSV to that contact group, or once you run this automation, right? If there's already contacts in there and you want them to be added, you can click so that they're added to the automation, right? So once it's running, right, they're going to receive this SMS. Then let's say it's very similar again. If they haven't responded to the first text, give it a day, right? You can, if they haven't responded, let's say they get a ringless voicemail, and then let's say you, after that ringless voicemail, you want to hit them with a follow-up text message, like, hey, I'm not sure you received my call. You can have this automation wait 30 minutes and then send the SMS right after that, right? Sometimes people like it so that it's essentially what's the word? It's taking care of all the follow-ups for non-responses. So okay, we waited a day, we sent them this voicemail, we sent them the second SMS, right? And then next we're going to just do this again, right? Responded within the delay. And then again, right? If it's been another day and they haven't responded to this text, well, we want to do the next, we want to hit him again, right? We really want to talk to this guy. So he needs to respond. So if he doesn't respond, we'll set up the next text message or call or, read this voicemail or email that we want to send to him. And so we have that time-based trigger, but there's also and we'll just do that here. I'll change this one. There's also a keyword trigger, right? Where maybe your template has, reply yes for the link to the application or something, right? Or reply yes to book a call with an agent, right? So if they replied yes, then you can set up that next text to go out, or the email, right? Whatever you can, you can kind of create your workflow how you guys like to do things at your shop or your business. And yeah, we have the full support if you need some help setting up the automations or setting up your workflows in the CRM. That's another great thing about Easify is that we have amazing tech, but we also have amazing people, right? And our support team is literally just a click away. If you need help, right? We have a live chat. It's not an AI, right? It's a live person, and we're always available. Like again in the chat, I did provide my meeting link. So all our sales team, right? We send out that meeting link, right? So we're always, which is done through bookings, right? Through Easify bookings, of course. So we do use bookings to do all our demo calls, all our, support calls. So yeah, book a call with me or our great team. If you go to our website, prompt you to book a demo call. So we make ourselves really, pretty available, for support, for help, or for feedback, whatever you guys need. We are for sure here for you. There and you honestly should book a call with one of us, because even though I think we did, touch on a lot in the 1 hour webinar here, there's still more to discover, right? So definitely book a call to kind of, see every last bit that Easify has to offer. I'm going to leave you guys with just our pricing, right? I think, okay, the system looks great, but what's the cost? And with all the value that we provide, I think it's a very, very reasonable price for the package, right? So we do have two custom or two plans. There is our premium plan at $99 per month, which gets you access to SMS, calls, ringless voicemail, 99 per month, right? And you get 11,000 credits, which would essentially, if you're in a low risk industry, what's that? You get about 2,750 one segment text with those credits, but you can always purchase more credits whenever you need to send out more texts, right? We're always, for the big holidays, right? We always have send coupon codes to your email, so definitely look out for those if you want to just do a big recharge, right? Get some extra credits where especially around the big holidays, we do send out those emails to get you even more credits. And then the other plan that we have on offer is our enterprise plan, which gets you access to everything in the system, excluding the CRM. The CRM does have a custom price to it, which we can discuss on our demo call. But the enterprise plan gets you access to everything else, right? So SMS, calls, emails, ring this voicemail, the whole 9 yards, and that's 199 per month. And then if of course we can create a custom plan if it's something where we think it's, depending on your business needs, if we need to create a custom plan for you, we have options there as well. So yeah, guys, so yeah, just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me on the webinar. um, yeah, look, if you want to book a demo with us, please do. Just go to easify.app. You have that bright red button up here to book a demo. So if you like what you see, and I think you should, then yeah, please get in touch with us. We'd love to get you set up as soon as possible. Again, my name is Moises. It was a pleasure, guys. Thanks so much. I'll go ahead and end the webinar now, but I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thanks.